Hey everyone, Jared James here, and welcome to episode 55 of the Jared James Show. As always, guys, if you enjoy this, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe, turn on the alerts, and share this with somebody that you think would benefit from it. Today, my very special guest is someone I just met right now. Not true. Today, I have with me the CMO of BombBomb, Mr. Steve Passanelli is in the house, and I'm loving this because you know that we don't generally do this format, but he and I were together, and I would never miss an opportunity to hang out, just like you wouldn't, right, Steve?
That is correct, Jared.
Awesome.
When I get properly invited.
That's right. Why don't you say hello to our audience here, man?
Everybody excited to be on here. We had to do it in the video format, right? You know, we just didn't want to do
We almost did a podcast, and it seemed weird to talk about doing video on a podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So we're going to do video. We're going to talk about video.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to use video to grow your business. And Steve just got off the stage at our advance, the Jared James Advance for 2019, right here in Nashville. And as always, crushed it. Started with a real mediocre joke that almost went over. But he's always such a wealth of information on a lot of things, but especially when it comes to video, right? A lot of you use BombBomb. Some of you do, some of you don't. All of you should be. But I asked him to kind of come on here and talk to us about some strategies, not only for your sphere of influence, your past people, you know what you can do, but also when it comes to the point of conversion, you know, how do you use video to do this? So I'm going to cue you right in, man. I want you to kind of just go at it how you want to, but let's start with, when we look at our past people's sphere of influence, what are some actionable steps that we can take to leverage video to help grow our business in that area?
Yeah, and I want to make sure this is clear right out of the gate. The video strategies that we'll talk about right now, you don't have to have BombBomb to do them, of course. You know, you can use a myriad of other methods.
There you go, acting like a good guy again.
But does it make it a heck of a lot easier? Sure it does. And most of these strategies that we'll talk about actually come from real customers, real people that invented the strategy. And then, of course, I get to take all the credit and sound really smart by just delivering the information. So
right, but you're listening to your consumer. You're looking at what works, and I think that's what's effective. Like even you're on the stage today, you're talking to our audience, and you're not just talking from a place of theory. Going, when you have a video, hold it 12.5 feet away, and then make sure the downward angle is this, and whatever. If you Google the 4 ways to whatever, you're talking about Joe-Pitty Bob out of Pittsburgh, whatever. This is what he does. This is the specific strategy, and here's the result he gets.
Here's the result.
And I think that relates to people.
So let's start. I'll start with that.
Okay. With Joe-Pitty Bob.
Joe-Pitty Bob.
Okay.
And here's the specific strategy. And so this is our Joe-Pitty Bob is Jimmy Burgess. And Jimmy, I've never heard of this strategy before, so I'm pretty sure he pioneered it.
Okay.
And it's a newer one for me, and when I'd heard it, I was just blown away. And so this is a less than 5 minute a day strategy.
Okay.
1 video a day.
Okay.
And anyone can do this, and I'll go over the setup, but what it netted Jimmy in a 90-day period was $11 million in new listings from that strategy alone.
Wow. So just the one thing.
So 1 video a day to 1 person.
Okay. And
so here's the strategy. You always want to lead with value, right?
Right.
If you're reaching out to someone.
Otherwise, you're not even going to hear the rest of the stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
And so I generally teach there's 3 reasons why someone wants to hear from you. It could be a personal touch, like, hey, Jared, reaching out, want to say congratulations or happy birthday, personal touch. 2 is providing value, answering a question, providing information, and 3, if you're not doing one of the first 2, you better be entertaining. So this falls in the number 2 category. And so what Jimmy Burgess does is he takes a screen recorder, have one in BombBomb, there's screen recorders out there, and the key is to record yourself and your screen at the same time. A lot of the programs will allow you to do that.
Right.
And he sets up 2 things. He sets up an MLS page with the property of the person that he's reaching out to.
Okay.
And he sets up a Google Earth view of that person's property. So 2 different tabs on the website.
Okay.
And then he does just a minute or 2 of research of what's selling in the area, in the MLS or whatever application, if you have something else that you like to use better.
Whatever,
feel free.
It's about the principle,
Yeah, so he does a little bit of research, and then he hits the record button. And the person can see him, and he starts off on Google Earth. Now, the reason why he starts off on Google Earth is it's an aerial view of the recipient's
of their
property.
home. Yeah.
So you always talk about visibility,
Yeah.
and 100% correct. This is his visibility, because when you start with something of value and of importance to the customer, their home, in a weird aerial view, and a person gets that text message, email, Facebook message, and they see their home on an aerial view, there is close to a 0% chance that they're going to be like, I don't want to hear what this person has to say.
Right. They want to know what's going on with their property, what's going on here.
Yep. And so remember, these are unsolicited. So you could just take 90 people, or if you don't want to do the weekend.
I love this. So this is really like now when you say unsolicited.
This is farming, like in the old sense.
Oh, you're talking like this is like prospecting. Like this is like
people
just,
in your database.
Oh, it is people in your database.
Yeah,
okay.
You need the email. You need the email address. So whoever you have email addresses for, if you're looking to go through and
they didn't ask for it, but you're coming at it's a way to touch, but it's in a way that you're going to get some kind of an open and some kind of an interest.
Right. So you're going to get that attention, you're going to get that open because you started with their property, and you start off the video and you say, hey Jared, it's Steve. Now every once in a while, I just like, I know you're probably not interested in selling your home anytime soon. That's totally okay. But as a value add for my service, I just want to provide you a quick update. What's going on in the neighborhood? And then you just switch over from that Google aerial view. You only use that for the first 10 seconds.
It's just to get their attention.
And you switch right over into the stats. Now you're recording your screen and yourself, and you go through a couple.
So in other words, they're seeing, when people hear that, they're seeing the full screen with the stats, and then in the corner, one of the corners, they're seeing you talking.
Yep, exactly.
But you're not the overwhelming.
Correct.
If you have a zit, if you have a this, it's probably not going to be seen, because unless they have amazing eyesight, you're a much smaller picture than what they're actually looking at.
That is correct. So if you're nervous about getting on camera,
that's why I said it.
This is a fantastic way to start.
You're taking the attention away. You're on camera, but it's going towards.
Yep. They can still see you and hear you, though.
Gotcha.
But just not full frontal.
That's an interesting way to describe it. Yes.
So what Jimmy does, he does that once a day.
And his name is Jimmy. Okay. Go ahead.
He sends that out. Thanks, Jared. He sends that out.
Like I said, we just met.
And for 90 days, he did that. $11 million in new listings. We've been teaching this now for the past 6 months or so. And I don't know if I have another $11 million story, but I have plenty of stories.
That's a great story.
Of people saying, I got business, I got a listing, I got a referral, and it takes less than 5 minutes each and every day. That's your prospecting, right?
And that was literally, it's like, there's different ways to create business, right? You can wait for it, you can pay for it, or you can make it happen, right?
Yep.
And so when you look at those 3 different ways, you can wait for it, you can pay for it, or you can make it happen. That is an example of making it happen. I am going to wake up today, something doesn't exist, and I am going to make it exist as a result of something that I do.
Yes.
Important. Got it.
Yeah. So that's just one of the strategies, and we talked about that one at the annual advance. But if you're looking for something, I'll give you another one for repeat and referral too. A quarterly strategy. So people like Andy Alger use this strategy here. They want a systematic way to know when new business is going to come in. They might do the one-offs like that, but then they want to figure out a way who's interested in talking to me about real estate from a mass perspective. And so once a quarter, he'll grab little yellow sticky notes or 3x5 cards, and he writes a number down on them. And for each area, he's in Michigan, and so he'll do like Flint, Michigan, and I forget all the different cities.
Right.
But he'll put each percentage on there, and it's the percentage change from last year this quarter. And so we'll say, hey guys.
So year over year.
Year over year. So we say, hey guys, here's your quarterly market update. And as you know, we go through all of the local markets here very quick. And he does it quick, and he's got all these cards, and he goes through, and people love to see how their market compares to other markets.
Right.
And he does it in such a fast, fun, and quick way in 2 to 3 minutes that people hang on. And
it's entertaining. It really is entertaining, and it fits the culture we live in right now from an attention span thing, right?
Yeah.
What's next? What's next? What's next?
Absolutely. And so he sends that out, and you're probably thinking, well, I've heard of quarterly market updates before, but here's the magic. Here's the magic part of the equation. So he sends that out, and then 2 days later, whether you're using like a MailChimp product, whatever mass email system that you
MailChimp, Happy Grasshopper, Constant Contact, whatever they are,
Now, you can track opens and clicks. If you're using something like BombBomb, it also tracks the plays.
I was going to say, do you consider yourself a mass email provider?
Yeah, we do.
Because we tell our students you are.
Yeah.
So if not, I need to know, because when we mention places to use for their mass email, because we have a CRM, right? And I'm like, look, we can do mass email, but you're better off using a company that's what they do.
What they do.
And I always mention Happy Grasshopper and BombBomb and MailChimp and these places. So you guys do consider yourself, like you have the tracking, you have that stuff, a mass email.
And so we provide the ultimate level of insight, because an open and a click, you can open an email by accident. You can click a link by accident, not do anything with it. But if you know that someone watched about 2 minutes of your 2.5 minute video, that's an entirely different engagement.
Completely different,
And so what he does is 2 days later, he looks at that list of people, and in BombBomb, it automatically prioritizes people by the amount of video, the length of video that they viewed, opens and clicks, and it provides a list with a record button next to each person's name.
So it's basically making it simple, touch and play. It's Amazon One Touch, like basically, or one button shopping carts. It's basically like, these are the people. Click the red button. It's time to film something and reach out.
And just focus your efforts on only 15% of the people played my video. Fantastic.
That's a lot of people.
So
what other marketing has a 15% open rate?
Yeah.
But digital marketing has way less.
Yeah.
Every other form is way. People are looking at these things from email, video, and they're going 15, 20%, like whatever. Like, oh, it's only that. That's huge.
But even if it was like 8%, you know who to focus on.
That's the important.
So you take those people, they're on the list. Now you know who to follow up with. 2 days later, you send another video, and I would say, oh, hey, Jared, don't know if you had a chance to view the quarterly market update.
Although I do.
Although I do know. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to let you know that in XYZ area, the market is you'll find it quite interesting. I have some extra info that you might be interested in.
You're getting very specific with what you're spending your time on based on the people who really are your best prospects. And
so every quarter, by casting that big net, figuring out who might be interested, and then just only talking to those people, that's how he generates new listings.
It comes from a mass email. Then it comes from looking at the analytics that are built within BombBomb for that mass email of who is actually not just opening, but who is actually engaging with your content. And then you go from the macro of the mass email, you then get very micro with you, because it's worth that time.
So it's just another so very similar to the Jimmy Burgess strategy, but just on a quarterly basis. And you could do both at the same time. You can send out those one-offs and then always do your quarterly. When he's late on his quarterly update, people get upset. They're like, where's your quarterly? Oh, I'm sorry.
And that's how you know. And what I love about this, guys, you guys have heard me say this many times, right? If you listen to me, that when you look at doing this as video opposed to something else, the reason why video is just so powerful is because when you're just doing email, text, which are also important, but when you're only doing those things, it's my belief that it's much easier to reject a font than it is to reject a person. And so when you're just doing email, text, and these other functionalities, they match the other 150 they got that day. But when they see your face or they listen to your voice, you now have to make a conscious decision to reject a person. And that's a whole different type of decision.
And there's studies that show that in general, people don't recognize the humanity in other people unless they see their face. And that's why we have road rage, and that's why.
Dude, we get it with the client success. So we're at this advance right now. We have our client success team, and we have other people here. And I tell them all the time, like if somebody has an issue, or somebody has a question with the CRM, or has a question with something like that, or there's an issue with coaching or something like that, when they call in, people are conditioned to believe that they have to act a certain way in order to get what they want, and they get very inhumane. Are you kidding me?
This is ridiculous.
I will find your children, and then you will have no children. And it's just like they get this, and then they see them here in person, and they're like, hey,
so sorry.
Oh my God. I guess they go like Valley White Girl, but but it's just the idea that all of a sudden when you see someone in person, it's very difficult to be a jerk now. It's very difficult to reject. It's very, what you said, the human side now comes out. So it's allowing people to see you matters. Well, look what we're doing.
And it's
right now.
But your text looks the same as that company's text that once,
all font looks the same.
Screwed them over before. It looks the same as my text. And so when the messenger is removed from the message, which is what text-based communication does for you, if they don't know who the messenger is, they can't rely upon the message. You have to know who the messenger is before you decide whether or not you're going to move forward with it.
And to know and connect, it's easier when you see that person. Yeah, I get it.
See and hear.
Yeah, see and hear. That's awesome. Did you have another one for that, or do you want to move on to some conversion tactics?
Yeah, we can do conversion.
You want to do conversion? Okay,
Sure.
so video, we know is used, and there's a lot more strategies and tactics as far as growing your business. I just covered a bunch of them out there at our advance. But now, when it comes to the point of conversion, can you give our viewers a couple of actionable items that they can do to use video?
Yeah.
And by the way, before I say that, one of the things that I really loved, I saw a video you did once. And I know a lot of you are watching this right now, and you're like, well, how do I, I'm just not comfortable doing video, right? Mm-hmm. And I loved a video I saw you do where you talked about work at your desk, set up the video, and just have it record you.
Yeah.
Like, just let it record you. Nothing's even going on.
Don't talk
just
to it.
Just get used to the red light.
Yeah.
I don't know if you said it that way, but like that's how I heard it. Like, just get used to the red light.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Just get used to the fact that this thing's doing that. Get over all the fear of the unknown and the, those things. I loved that. Yeah. So knowing that, that's one way to get over that. How do they now use video to potentially help them convert?
Yeah. So when a new lead, just as we mentioned before, if someone doesn't know who you are and they can't see you, they can't hear you, you're not humanized to them yet. And so just the fact that you're getting on video would be great, no matter what you say or do, even though basic things like smiling and that definitely helps. But we like to teach a framework for conversion called empathy, value, call to action.
Okay.
And this works in a text-based email. This works really well in a video email, a video text, a video social message. And when a new lead comes in, you want to empathize with that lead. So are they, a buyer or a seller? What form did they fill out on the website? Most leads aren't ready to transact, immediately. I think most agents would agree. And so knowing that.
That's why they're a lead. They could lead to a transaction. They're not currently a transaction.
Yes. Yeah, possibly. And so knowing that, and knowing that's most people are afraid of reaching out and they don't provide all their information because they're not ready to be pushed into doing something that they're not ready to do yet. And so if you overcome that hurdle and that objection right out of the gate in a video, it's like, hey Jared, thank you so much for filling out the form on my website. I hope you found everything that you're looking for. And whether you're looking to buy in 2 months or not for another 2 years,
I love it.
I'm okay with that, but I can help you no matter where you are, no matter what step. Just let me know, because there's some valuable information that's going to help you within that process.
You don't even realize how much that fits the strategy of what we tell our students, right? I love that strategy, and I want all of you doing that. We teach people that when they're reaching out, just to kind of one of the first things they say to them is, hey, just so you know, most of my clients are at least 6 to 12 months out of ever being serious. You know what I mean? Just so you know, most of my clients are at least, and by the way, it's setting the tone. Most of my clients, I'm already starting to frame you in that. Most of my clients, like let's put you in that, whatever. Most of my clients are at least 6 to 12 months out before they're ever really serious. I'm just here to help you right now. I'm just here to answer your questions right now. So my what I use with our students and what you just, it's the same exact idea, right? You're trying to alleviate the pressure of thinking that as soon as they talk to you, they need to work with you. Because they came from a world where that's what you did. When you talk to a realtor, you got referred, list your house, buy your house.
Are you ready to do it now?
Oh, no? You ready? Okay. Then you don't talk to a realtor yet. But when you do, and so we live in a different world now, and that's one way that you can kind of ease in. I love that.
So that's the empathy portion. Then you provide the value, whatever that value might be. Hey, so let me know where you are. I have some great guides, or I can talk you through the process, whatever value, depending on that type of lead. And then your CTA, what do you want them to do? Do they go to the website to download? And
that's a part that so many people miss. They go throughout and there's no CTA. Look forward to hearing from you is not a CTA, right? Like that's not a call to action when we're talking about that. This is the part that people miss. They're afraid to actually close. They're afraid to actually ask. The old adage, a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right? Like you have to ultimately ask for what it is after you set it up with the other points. So
and with what you said, I'm just thinking of something, on the fly here with what you teach your students. At the end for your CTA, you could be like, well, if you're not like one of my clients and you are ready to transact immediately, great, give me a call. But if you're not, transitional CTA. So that's a direct CTA. You're doing the direct ask. And then you're transitional. Hey, but if you're like most of my clients and you're just looking for more information, here's what to do. And then you drop 2. Now you don't want to have like 9 different CTAs, but it's okay to have a direct ask and then a transitional for people that aren't ready for the direct.
Yeah, I love that, and that's why when you notice what we're kind of doing here is with the words, like there's, what I love about today's world is sales skills are really coming back, and that's not a bad thing. That doesn't make you some kind of scumbag or make you, when you have people's best interest in hand, it's a really good thing. But, the quality of your answers is always determined by the quality of the questions you ask. And so when you look at these kind of tactics and ways to do things, of framing things, framing them, most of my clients, that's a very important point that makes them feel like, he's talking to me, I'm one of, and they don't even know that it's happening, but they feel like your client. They don't even know why, but they're comfortable with you.
Well, and that's what we were talking about today at the Advance too. The average person makes 35,000 decisions a day. Most of those decisions being subconscious. The way you just moved your finger right there, that's a decision. But you're running autonomously. The one side of your brain is determining most of your thoughts and feelings. And what you did there in that messaging is they didn't even know how they feel like they're already a client, but it's just those subtle hints that they're picking up on.
They just feel comfortable.
That they just feel comfortable mirror matching.
That's what happens. And by the way, people make decisions in this industry based on whether they feel comfortable, don't feel comfortable, and second place agents don't make any money. Period. First place is who wins, not second place. So all of these little things matter. So with that being said, guys, I think this was super helpful today. Steve, man, I want to help. Obviously you guys can tell I'm joking around. Steve's a good buddy of mine. Such a good buddy that he met me out last night. Steve's a longtime buddy of mine, as you guys can tell. I never got a direct text message. I just want to Everybody else text messaged you.
But not from you, Jared.
You guys hear this?
He's very special.
I sent him a video. He didn't open it. Steve is my buddy, as you guys can tell right now. We've known each other for years. We see each other on the road. Just a great guy, and that's why you guys know I don't do a lot of these with other people, but I wanted to share this with Steve today because I think it's super valuable to you guys. What I'd love for you to do right now, first off, I think you should check out BombBomb. I don't make any money on that. I don't, whatever. I think they're a great company and they do a great job. But at the same time, guys, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. I think there was a lot of really actionable stuff that was taught here. I'd love to hear from you below, which are you going to do, or do you have a better technique? We'd love to hear it. So post below, which one of these are you going to take over? Which one of these techniques did you love the most? Or do you have something better that I'd love to hear? You know what? If you have something better, should we give away some books? Sure. So if someone posts below, maybe we'll do the first 3 or 5, you pick. We're going to pick 3 people who post. We're going to pick the first 300 people. We're going to pick the first 3 people who post an amazing idea of how they're using video or how it's working for them. We're going to pick 3 people that we think gave a really great post and send them a copy or send them a signed copy. Do you just send them? Yeah, we have signed copies. And so I have a book I wrote with Ethan Butte called Rehumanize Your Business, and it's basically everything that you just heard here. It's more of that. It's how to use video to communicate more effectively. And so if you like the ideas and would like to learn more, then put your comments below because everything in the book came from people like you. There you go. And then we're going to pick 3. We're going to send you copies of those. I think that's really cool. So like I said, guys, give a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Share this specifically with people you know will benefit from it because I think this was a really valuable episode here, guys. Love so much you guys watched. Thank you so much. We'll check you on the next episode.